Detroit Pistons, man, forced a Game 6 as they won Game 5 on the New York Knicks home court. And how I feel about the game is this. You know, the Knicks, hey, yeah, it's pressure on. The pressure is on now. The pressure is on. Because look, as easy as it is 3-2 Knicks way, it can easily be reversed 3-2 go ahead Detroit way. And why I say this is because if it wasn't for that last what's that, Game 4, if it wasn't for that no call on that Tim Hardaway jump shot, 3-point shot attempt, Detroit would have won that game. They got away with one, ended up taking a 3-1 lead. You lost this game, which you should have lost back-to-back games. Now you're heading back to Detroit. You gave these young boys confidence. They already had confidence. But the thing is, I'm going to say this. Once you play around with food in front of a hungry dog, you can't expect not to get big. And what I mean by that, if anybody out there that's watching that got a dog, don't feed your dog for a week. And after that week is up, I want you to go dangle around some food and tell me if he bite you or not. And that's exactly what the Detroit Pistons is right now. They is hungry dogs. They haven't won a playoff series in decades. I'm not over exaggerating. They haven't won a playoff series in decades. I think it was 2008. That's what almost 20 years, bro. Man, stop playing, bro. Y'all out there playing with these young bucks out there, letting them compete. Now y'all giving them a shot to be able to tie the series up back on their home court. You know the Detroit Pistons, you know the Palace gonna be rocking. The Caesars Palace gonna be rocking. All them Detroit Netters gonna be in that 4-2 Doug gonna be in that mud. You know, Babyface Ray gonna be there. Jalen Rose gonna be there. Big Sean gonna be there. Man, y'all better stop playing. Y'all better buckle up and focus. Now, like I said, it's even more under more pressure because I just seen down the stretch, Jalen Brunson went down with an injury. Josh Hart went down with an injury. I don't know the full extent of their injuries right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to be available for the next game, but you only get one day in between games now. So that rest going to matter because you're going to need it. Because K didn't play the best offensive game today that he could have played, which is okay, and they still find a way to win. Oscar Thompson gave them good contributions today. He finally showed up in this series, giving them double-digit points. Tobias Harris being Tobias Harris, Dennis Schroeder being Dennis Schroeder. You know, being old veteran guys that been in this playoff setting before, they know how to win ball games, and helping this young team prevail them to wins. You know, K had 24, but he was 6 of 17, 35% from the field, shot 25% from the three-point line. Didn't shoot, you know, particularly well, but he still had his points. He still came up with 24 points, but he had five turnovers. We got to get that under wraps. This whole series long, K been a turnover machine. You got to be able to read the defense better than what he doing. But nonetheless, you get 17 from Tobias, 22 from Thompson, you get 24 from Cade, you get 10 off the bench from Malik Beasley, 14 from Dennis Schroeder. Hey, they end up forcing the Game 6. OG had 19, Josh Hart 15, Carlton Towns 17, Mikal Bridges 17, Jalen Brunson 16. You know, Detroit Pistons did a good job tonight limiting Jalen Brunson. You know, he couldn't really get his offensive game going. They did a good job showing him bodies, putting length on him, not letting him get to the free throw line. You know, they really got Jalen Brunson out of his rhythm. You know, from the start. You know, if you can get Jalen Brunson out of his rhythm from the start, you know, later on in the game, he's not gonna be able to knock down the shots that he's been making. You know, as we know, the first four games of this series, Jalen Brunson has been phenomenal in the fourth quarter. Every game in this fourth quarter, except for tonight, he had double-digit points. 10 or plus points in every fourth quarter going down in each game. Going down the stretch, he's been knocking down big shot after big shot. But today, the Detroit Pistons, they did a very good job limiting his shot attempts, limiting the open looks that he got, limiting limiting him to get to his spots that he liked to get to. And they forced a Game 6. Right now, hey, the pressure is high right now. The pressure is on. Because right now, if I'm JB Biggerstaff, I'm telling my team, Taking one game at a time. We came in with a goal in mind to win in game 5. We did that. Now we got to go home and protect our home court to force a game 7. We got to go handle business. We got the momentum. We got the crowd behind us. You know what I'm saying? K didn't play the best game he could have played. Didn't shoot particularly well from the field. Hey man, yeah, we gotta believe. If nobody else believe, we have to believe in this locker room. That's what I'll be saying if I was JB Bickerstaff. But the New York Knicks better get it together. Because I've been saying all year long how the New York Knicks are fraudulent. They was the 3rd seed all year, but I feel like the games that they won and the team that they needed to beat, they weren't able to beat the teams that they needed to beat all season long. They was getting smacked around, tossed around by the Boston Celtics all year. Cleveland Cavaliers was giving them belt all year. Detroit Pistons, I think they split the season series. Now you coming into a playoff that a team that feel like they have the opportunity to beat you and knock you off, and you give them even more confidence. You keep touching that hot stove, you're eventually gonna bleed now. You're eventually gonna burn yourself. New York Knicks, you better get it together. Now I'm not just saying that the Detroit, all this was on the Detroit Pistons. Well, a lot of this got to do with the Detroit Pistons because they did a good job limiting the New York Knicks' best player. But I want to say that, even though that Jalen Brunson, he didn't have the best games, y'all still had opportunities to win this ball game. But the thing is, coming down the stretch, the New York Knicks been looking a little shaky. You need a heroic, what you saying is you need a heroic fourth quarter every game out from Jalen Brunson. And that's not a good formula to win playoff games. To keep the game close until the fourth quarter and expect Jalen Brunson to bail you out, that's not a good formula for success. And tonight, it came back to bite you in the butt. Jalen Brunson wasn't able to put on the heroics in the fourth quarter like he usually was in these first 4 games, which in game 1, 10 points, game 2, 10 points, game 3, 12 points, game 4, 15 points in the fourth quarter. This game, he set out majority of that fourth quarter due to foul trouble, or he knew his normal rest. Then he ended up getting subbed up because he had injured his ankle. So he wasn't able to be that fourth quarter closer that you expect from Jalen Brunson tonight. But what I'm saying is that the Detroit Pistons, their confidence high, the morale is high. They're heading back home for a game 6. They extended this series. They did what they're supposed to do, is win a road game. And it didn't matter how it's supposed to look. When you in games like this, when you down 3-1, it don't matter how you win games no more. Now, why I be saying it's not how you win, it's not that you win or lose. That's what it's all about right now. It don't matter how it look now. We a team fighting for your playoff lives and you down 3-1, anything goes. Game winners, tips, uglies, it don't matter. Long as you come out with the W, that's all that matters now for the Detroit Pistons. And hey, New York Knicks, better get it together because there really weren't too many bright spots about y'all tonight. OG, he played a good game. But you look at it, nobody on your team scored over 20 points. Jalen Brunson 16, Mikal 17, Carlton Towns 17, Josh Hart 15, OG 19. Nobody scored over 20 points. Nobody. Knicks had 49 rebounds. Detroit Pistons had 45 rebounds. Detroit with 26 of 36 from the free throw line. New York Knicks was 16 of 27. 13 turnovers. And they both with 13 turnovers. So it was this game was kind of reminiscent from like the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors in Game 4. This game was won and lost from the free throw line. One team shot 16 to 27, and they get as many free throw attempts as the other team. Let me see, how many free throw attempts is that miss? Because Detroit, they missed 10 free throws, shot 36 of them. New York Knicks, they missed 9 free throws and only took 27 of them. So so Detroit Pistons, they shot 6 more shot attempts and made 10 more free throw attempts, that was the ball game right there. They won the game. One team won the game from the free throw line. The other team lost the game from the free throw line. The Detroit Pistons ended up winning this game by 3 points. And sometimes that's what the game comes down to. That's what the game determines. Free throw line will determine the win or loss in a playoff game. Because sometimes it's not just what people like to just throw out. Man, all you gotta do is put the ball in the basket or stop the opponent from scoring or putting the ball in the basket. What about all the little things that can take you so far that a lot of people like to overlook, like taking care of the ball, like make sure you control the glass, the offensive glass, the defensive glass, making your free throws. Those are the little things. What about the hustle plays? And tonight, the Detroit Pistons did all the little things today. And ultimately, that's what prevailed them into this win to end up extending this series to Game 6. Game 6 is going to be interesting. Game 6 probably going to, well, if it go to a Game 7, that's probably going to be the best game of the series. But Game 6 is going to be interesting. Because now, like I said, if it wasn't for that ref missing that call in Game 4, with Josh Hart fouling Tim Hardaway Jr. on that 3-point shot attempt to end the ball game, easily has 3-2 Knicks. It could have been 3-2 Detroit. And hey, the Knicks playing with fire right now. But I'm gonna see y'all at the Game 6. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that comment section, and make sure y'all tune back in because we is gonna talk about after the Game 6 and see how it goes. And I'll see y'all then.